80,000 Roman soldiers marched directly into a trap. It was a calculated massacre where almost no one survived. Rome selected this specific field. They marched into the slaughter because their pride made the geography look like an easy victory. Hannibal weaponized the Roman belief in their own invincibility to orchestrate the deadliest single day of combat in recorded history. To understand why Rome threw 80,000 men at this problem, you have to look at the scoreboard. Carthage's top general, Hannibal Barca, had already inflicted severe, humiliating defeats on Roman armies. Rome was desperate to scrub him from the map. Hannibal operated on a different level. He decoded the Roman psychological profile, learning exactly how their commanders would react to pressure. Rome reacted to his ongoing threat by throwing out their own traditional rules. They suspended their usual command structure and assembled the largest single fighting force in their history. When a nation mobilizes on that scale, the sheer mass creates an illusion of safety. Rome viewed 80,000 marching soldiers as a mathematical guarantee of success, ignoring the logistical vulnerabilities that come with such scale. Which brings us to the terrain at Cannae. It is a completely flat, wide-open expanse of dirt, exactly the kind of arena Roman generals preferred. Their standard military doctrine relied on brute force. They packed their heavy infantry into dense, rigid squares and pushed forward with the goal of crushing anything in their path. On the morning of the battle, they did exactly that. The legions locked their shields and advanced quickly across the open ground, densely packed together, certain they would break the Carthaginian line on the first impact. As the massive Roman block hits the center, the Carthaginian line deliberately bows backward, forming a deep U shape. Perceiving this as the enemy breaking, Roman troops in the rear keep pushing forward, packing their men tightly into the center of that curve. Hannibal didn't have to force the legions into a disadvantageous position. Rome's own reliance on mass and momentum did the work for him, funneling their numbers into a highly compressed, narrow pocket. The spatial crisis is obvious. The Romans' forward momentum has jammed them shoulder to shoulder. They cannot swing their swords. The trap snaps shut. Hannibal's flanking infantry pivots inward, locking against the column. Simultaneously, cavalry slams into the rear guard. The circle is sealed. Down in the dirt, the reality of the geometry was horrific. 80,000 men were trapped in a collapsing ring. The compression was so severe that soldiers began suffocating before they ever saw a Carthaginian blade. Hour after hour, the outer perimeter of Romans fell, and the circle tightened further. The sheer crushing weight of the panicked men pressing against each other killed thousands of their own allies. By perfectly anticipating Roman aggression, Hannibal had successfully executed a feat of spatial engineering. He used the immense size of the Roman army as the very mechanism to destroy it. When the sun set, the butcher's bill was finalized. Somewhere between 50 and 70,000 Roman soldiers lay dead on the dirt. Hannibal erased the largest military force the Roman Republic had ever fielded. There was no retreat, only a systematic elimination of 80,000 men. They marched onto that flat plain with a significant numerical advantage and superior heavy infantry. By evening, they had lost nearly 20% of the fighting-age men in the entire Republic. Hannibal provided the trap, but Rome supplied the engine. Their unwavering belief that sheer force guarantees success is what ultimately executed their own army. Managing resources, reading terrain, and anticipating an opponent's movements are skills that dictate survival, whether on an ancient battlefield or in modern strategy. Back in Italy, Rome had lost an entire generation in a single afternoon, but the broader conflict and Hannibal's terrifying march through the Italian peninsula had only just begun. History is an ongoing study of how societies survive utter catastrophe. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next tactical breakdown on how the Roman war machine rebuilt itself from the ashes of Cannae.